Big things are happening in the world of Zenless Zone Zero. A new Void Hunter was crowned, another high-powered AI has come online and risen to relevance, and now that we seem to have returned to our video store and finished our training at Yunquai Summit, things can return to a sense of normalcy. Or so we thought. Because out of absolutely nowhere, we have gotten a lore drop that has turned everything upside down and revealed to us who our new opponent is. With the disappearance of Sarah, in comes the villain that always seems to end up at the root of Hoyo games: corporations. Yes, these dirty money-grubbing corpos are at it again, treating our heroes like pawns and our lives as bargaining chips. But who are these people? What are they about? And what are they planning to do? Well, I think I've got some insight on what exactly is going on here. Because this is the new Villains of New Eridu explained. Okay, so as we have seen, there are three people who call themselves the three PACTS who meet in the shadows to ask their AI that sounds way too much like fairy.
We need everyone here to decide where the chips go next.
Screening redundant data. Screening complete. Current cleanup progress, 85.1%.
About what is going on and what they are going to do with New Eridu. Lead Scepter, Tin Crown, and Copper Ring. All names that refer to cheap metals, but expensive accessories. Bit of irony there, emphasis on iron being another cheap metal. Possibly because they aren't the top of the totem pole of top, since Mr. Copper Ring makes reference to Tin Crown's supposed master. The AI also mentions some godlike entity called the Head that is currently asleep. I say godlike because the AI called the Head they, which is a pronoun chosen for the Aeons of Star Rail, but we can't be too sure. Different game. But even though this being is sleeping, they left a message that reads, "When Hollow Zero shifts, the bell of doom will ring." A bad omen that we see is happening now, which prompts our three villains to cut to the chase and brainstorm some ideas. And each of them quite literally puts their cards on the table, allowing the AI to choose which one is best. Which is already a bad idea to begin with, but that's besides the point. And to start things off as chivalrously as possible, the group allows the lady to go first as Miss Tin Crown presents her plan. A plan she refers to as Rebirth. But judging by the last time we saw her in the Miyabi trailer,
a large enough explosion could annihilate all ethereals in the hollow at once, including Lerna. Call it standard procedure.
147 civilians, 36 PubSec officers, 17 investigators, 8 executive officers. That's 208 casualties. Far more than standard.
But compared to the civilians outside Argos, it's a worthwhile sacrifice.
This plan involves mass casualties and probably nuclear bombs, which would sacrifice large numbers of what little population New Eridu has. Hence why Copper Ring cuts in to say that she is playing the same card as always, which she kinda is. With his suggestion being that New Eridu needs more stars, aka Void Hunters, to save the day. Which is also in reference to Miyabi's crowning achievement that dunked on Tin Crown in her first appearance. Bit of a double diss there. But unlike our second generation Void Hunter, Copper Ring wants someone more controlled. A Void Hunter they can manipulate like a puppet on their strings. However, Lead Scepter cuts in to dismiss his idea, saying that Void Hunters are lambs that offer themselves to the slaughter. And then we get a shot of Ye Shengguang because that was her argument in the past, as everyone who wields the Qingming Blade essentially signs their own death warrant.
People want heroes. They raise their banners high, but all they really want is someone else to take the fall. A shield to stand in front of them. Someone to die in their place. Oh, they'll build a monument, offer flowers, shed a few pretty tears, write poems about her glory, and then they'll wait for the next fool to pick up the sword, to become the new hero.
So in essence, she kinda is a lamb that offered herself up to the slaughter. But this wasn't the only reason why we see her, because Lead Scepter proceeds to tell us that the messengers of the creator will now fight for what was stolen for them due to their creator being back. Which suggests that the special weapons we see the Void Hunters wielding, like Tailless and the Qingming Blade, were stolen from the Exaltus or other creator following factions. And when you think about it, this actually makes sense. One tries to eat your soul and the other one feeds off of your memories and ether energy until you die. Perfectly in line with the sacrifices the Exaltus are always so obsessed with making. But going back to Ledceptor's plan, he suggests that Topps take control of an airborne island that has been isolated from the conflict the world is suffering from. And since the creator's forces will be fighting the Void Hunters to the death for their weapons back, and Hollow Zero is shifting, nothing will be able to stop their conquest of this island. But I guess you're wondering, what is this flying island, and where did this place even come from? And at first, I wondered at this too, until I did some back reading and saw that this place was actually mentioned back in 2.5. Yes, Lockspring tells us that this island is called Rosacalifer, or Ruscalifer, and it is a peaceful place that once followed Lady Sunbringer. You know, the Void Hunter, Kiana-looking woman who got betrayed by her followers because she knew too much and studied porcelain first? The same woman who took out the Hive Lord Hollow in the sky and created Bang Boo? Her. She was a busy woman. Also, I think it's safe to say that judging by the way that the three packs regard the Void Hunters, they are the reason why she was betrayed in the first place. It's no coincidence that Sunbringer found the ore first and was researching it, then she gets betrayed out of nowhere, only for Topps to take over the entire operation and proceed to do everyone dirty. It's almost like when a hero finds a miraculously effective cure for a terminal illness and then they suddenly disappear, which hits way too close to home considering current events. But even though she herself was betrayed, she never gave up on humanity even after being called by the creator. Very Kiana of her to be labeled a wanted criminal and being hunted only to dedicate her life to saving humanity anyway. The eyes never lie. Must run in the family. But going back to the big three, the fake fairy sounding AI serves as a tiebreaker and chooses Ledceptor's idea as the most suitable. To which it is revealed that this guy appears to be Yokai's master and was using it to spy on Wise and Bell, referring to them as the final legacy of Helios Academy. So now we know that Yokai's purpose is to serve as a decoy and distraction that guides us into developing, but also indirectly aiding in Topps' schemes. For example, what I personally think is happening here is that Yokai will lead us into stopping the Hollow Zero crisis as Topps takes over Ruscalifer. And since we are so close to both Void Hunters that will be targeted by the creator's messengers, we will be too tied up with helping them to stop Topps from doing anything or probably even noticing what they're doing behind the scenes. Put simply, Topps is using us to save the world so that they can make money and take more land. It's insidious, greedy, and sick, but that's why they have Yokai here. The AI named after a nefarious Japanese spirit being that can be either good or bad, or in this case, very racist. That will probably serve as a fake villain that ends up leading us to the real threat, just like we saw with Lockspring. Yokai led us to Sarah, but did it through rather antagonistic means. But that's just my interpretation. But what isn't up for debate is that we get a good look at yet another first generation Void Hunter. None other than the leader of the Falkenheim mercenary troop. We first saw Dan's silhouette and Sarah's backstory, and now we see the unnamed leader, who I am going to call either Cyrene or Elysia, take your pick. Because either way, this story is going to get real romantic real quick. You think so too, right? I know you do, because Hoyo always locks in when they drop the Elysia XP. And for you Zenless only players, strap in. This is going to be a wild ride. Nothing I can say will prepare you for what you are about to experience, but it will be something you will never forget, because no one can ever forget the pink elf. But anyway, the three packs are here, and sure, we all hate Tin Crown, and Yokai is enough of a reason to hate Ledceptor, so let me give you a reason to hate Copper Ring. Remember, this guy runs the entertainment industry.
No wonder you never went into entertainment. Time is money. Let's talk business.
Which means that this guy is the reason why Vesper doesn't have rights and won't let her get her certification from the Forbidden Fruit test to get said rights as an intelligent construct. They locked her results away, forcing her to live as property even as a fully sentient intelligent construct. And odds are, poor Vesper isn't the only one. This guy is running a massive sentient robot slave operation. So yes, he is just as bad, if not worse, than the other ones. And these horrible people are what we are going to be fighting in the story going forward. Because this is the new villains of New Eridu Explained. Had to catch up with some Zenless lore because I got a feeling that stuff is about to pop off over here, and I could not be more hyped for it. I do a lot of Star Rail content, but Zenless has always had a special place in my heart. I love this game, and I can't wait for the lore to start popping off so I can talk about it more. So please leave me a comment and let me know if you want more Zenless stuff, because I am more than happy to cook for this game. Lore on the Zenless side of things has flown under the radar for far too long, and I would love nothing more than to bring it into the limelight. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.